Hello, kindergarten. Welcome back to my home and welcome back to my library. I am so glad that you are here for story time again today. Today we're going to read a very funny story about Frog and Rabbit. And I think that you are going to enjoy this story as much as I do. So sit back and get comfortable because today we're going to read Too Many Frogs by Sandy Asher. Illustrations by Keith Graves. Here's our title page. Too Many Frogs by Sandy Asher. Illustrations by Keith Graves. Rabbit lived by himself in the hollow of an oak tree. He cooked for himself, he tidied up after himself, and at the end of each and every day, he read himself a story. It was a simple way of life, no fuss, no clutter, and Rabbit liked it. But one rainy evening, he heard a knockety-knocking at his door. "It's Froggie," croaked a deep voice. "Don't care for this storm." Rabbit opened the door. "I was about to read myself a story." "Love to listen," said Froggie, and he hopped right inside. "Don't mind, do you?" "I suppose not," Rabbit said. So Froggie listened while Rabbit read his story. "Well done," he cheered when Rabbit had finished. "Storm's ended too. Thanks for your kindness. Toodaloo." The next evening, as usual, Rabbit finished dinner, tidied up, and sat down to read himself a story. But before he could begin, he heard another knockety-knocking at his door. "It's Froggie," croaked the same deep voice. Rabbit opened the door. "I was about to read myself a story." "I know," Froggie cried, and hopped right inside. "Love to listen, but first, let's fix ourselves a snack or three. Don't mind, do you?" "I suppose not," Rabbit said. So Froggie hopped and popped and whipped and flipped and mixed and fixed a snack or three. "Too much fuss," Rabbit thought. But Froggie listened while Rabbit read his story. "Well done," he cheered when Rabbit had finished. "Snacks are gone too. Thanks for your kindness. Toodaloo." The next evening, Rabbit finished dinner, tidied up, and sat down to read himself another story. But before he could begin, there was that same knockety-knocking at his door. "It's Froggie," croaked the familiar voice. Rabbit opened the door. "I was about to read," he began. "I know," Froggie cried, and hopped right inside. "You are about to read yourself a story. Love to listen. But first, let's get ourselves all comfy cozy. Don't mind, do you?" "I suppose not," said Rabbit. So Froggie fluffed and puffed and mooshed and smooshed and piled billows of pillows. Too much clutter, Rabbit thought. But Froggie listened while Rabbit read his story. "Well done," he cheered when Rabbit had finished. "Bedtime too. Thanks for your kindness. Toodaloo." The next evening, Rabbit finished dinner, tidied up, and sat down to read himself a news story. But before he could begin, there was that knockety knocking again. It's Froggie! Rabbit opened the door. I know, Froggie cried before Rabbit could say a single word. You are about to read yourself a story. Love to listen, but first, meet the family. Been telling them all about you and your stories. Love to join you. Don't mind, do you? Rabbit looked at Froggie's family. There were big frogs and little frogs and dozens all wearing t-shirts that said Frog Family Reunion. Too many frogs, he thought. Too much fuss. Too much clutter. I do mind, Froggie, he said at last. You do? Froggie asked. I never invited you in, Rabbit explained. I never invited you to fix a snack. I never invited you to get all comfy cozy. And I never invited your family to join you. So I do mind. I do mind very much indeed. Uh-oh, croaked Froggie. This will never do. Thanks for your kindness. Toodaloo. Alone at last. Rabbit sat down to read himself a story. For one anxious moment, he waited for a knockety knocking at his door. But it never came. Don't mind, do you? He asked himself with a chuckle. Most certainly not, he answered himself and began to read. It was a good story. But something was missing. Snacks make a good story better, he thought. So he fixed himself a snack and read on. It was a very good story. But something was missing. Pillows make a good story better, he thought. So he fluffed himself a pillow and read on. It was an exceptionally good story. But something was missing. Rabbit blinked once, then he blinked twice, and then he sighed. It's Froggie, he told himself at last. He loves to listen. Rabbit opened his door. There sat Froggie and his family waiting patiently to say that they were sorry. Never meant to be rude, Froggie said. Brought you a t-shirt. It says Frog Family Reunion. Thank you, Rabbit said. I was about to read a story. Would you like to join me? Love to listen, cried all the frogs. And in they all hopped. Big frogs, little frogs, dozens and dozens. Rabbit offered them a snack, or 3, and helped them fluff their pillows. And then every frog listened while Rabbit read a story. Well done, they all cheered when he had finished. So many frogs, Rabbit thought. So much fuss, so much clutter. It was definitely a different way of life, and Rabbit liked it. The end. Well, my dear kindergarten friends, I hope whenever you're listening to a story and you're really enjoying it, you might consider getting a fluffy, comfy pillow and maybe a snack or 3 and sit down and enjoy that story with a little bit more fuss and a little bit more clutter. Because like Rabbit, I think you're gonna like it. Kindergarten, Until we read again, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.